Greetings, minions. It's time for another review cap, following the ongoing Night Below campaign. Delicious. As always, the scenes are portrayed with the Order of the Stick cut-out minis. Today's players. Rick is Nom Gare, neutral evil human cleric of mask, 5th level. Shannon as Elwinda, chaotic neutral elven fighter magic user, level 4-4. Matt brings in his new character, Yanaros Vristan, chaotic neutral elven fighter magic user thief, level 111. And guest player Kingsley as Thalon Graffit, true neutral halfling fighter thief, level 11. Sean, who plays Hagen, was unable to attend, so he is NPC'd for this session. Weeks have passed at the Broken Spire Keep as the team has been snowed in by a hard-hitting early winter. In that time, 2 refugees from a doomed expedition have joined the group, and thus the obligatory contrived character entrance introduces the elf Yanaros and the halfling Thalon, the only survivors of a group of explorers who foolishly entered the Thornwood as winter hit. Don't question it, minions. Just let it be and accept it as a necessity of RPG narrative structure. As it happens, both newcomers are members of the Thieves Guild in Arabelle and by proxy affiliated with the Church of Mask. Nom asks them if they are acquainted with Lyra Averis, and while the halfling is not, the elf Yanaros is familiar with the conflict and the Guild's unwillingness to take a side here. That notwithstanding, he offers his services to Nom as needed. Just as a quick primer, minions, Lyra Averis was a former PC ally, an elven fighter thief, who had traveled with the group in adventures long before the Night Below scenario began. After the player left the game, her character Lyra became an NPC, who then tried to make off with the very valuable Amulet of Magic Detection. The group caught up with her, and that sparked a heated debate about what to do with her. Nom and Bob wanted to execute her then and there, while Elwinda and another former companion, Marie, a human magic user, refused to kill her and just wanted to reclaim what was theirs and set her free. Nom and Bob acquiesced, and Lyra was let go. The team recently learned that Lyra has turned up in Heronshire and is actively working against them. Neither the Thieves nor the Assassins' Guilds will get involved, stating that this is a personal matter and it's on them to resolve. And now you know, minions. Conducting a seance to summon Ranchivis' spirit. A positive reaction roll reveals that Ranchivis was in fact impressed with Nom Gare and offers respect to his enemy. Nom gets 2 questions as per the Speak with the Dead spell, so he first asks why he has memories of other events. To which Ranchivis explains that it's because he is one of the anointed and possesses the potential for a rare gift. Seeing into alternate timelines is a side effect of the work being done by Ranchivis' superiors, and only very few can do it. Nom uses his second question to ask about that, and Ranchivis reveals that he and his associates were tasked with capturing spellcasters as well as those with the gift, such as Nom has, to sacrifice to a powerful entity in the Underdark, an entity who will rise soon enough. With the 2 questions asked, Ranchivis' spirit fades away, never to be summoned again. Summoning Bob's spirit, Nom finds that his former ally is less than enthusiastic, but the magic of the seance compels truth. Nom asks Bob where his personal wealth can be located. Bob indicates that it's safely hidden away in one of the guild vaults. When asked how to access it, Bob only says the word Templeton before his spirit fades back into death. The meaning of the word Templeton stymies them for a few seconds until Elwinda remembers that Templeton is the name of the guild faceman, their liaison for work. They can contact him when they return to Arabelle. The next day, Nom then uses his magic to raise Bob and Ranchivis as zombies to prevent their bodily decay and to replace some of the other more damaged zombies. The winter doesn't let up, and as Nom expected, they will have to spend most, if not all, of the season holed up there. When rations run dry, Nom feeds the entire team with regular castings of Create Food and Water, coupled with some hunting, and Yanaros' most convenient secondary skill of being a fisherman. Luckily for them, there's a local small lake not marked on their map, as determined by a spontaneous DM roll. Yanaros spends some of his days ice fishing. Further, Nom's bear enters hibernation. A nice spacious stall in the otherwise intact stable provides a good place for the bear, the group hanging furs around the stall to fortify the bear against the relentless cold. Yonaris, Elwinda, and Hagen spend some time trading magic, as all three are students of the arcane. But efforts to learn spells are hampered by the fact that none of them can craft the special ink required to scribe the magic in their spellbooks until they can get back to a populated area. The weeks roll on, and time is spent scouring the keep even further. Yet another secret door is located, this time in Ranchifus's bedroom, leading down to a series of caverns, possibly the entrance to the Underdark Hadris had mentioned. Two of the prisoners die when something wipes their minds and leaves them smelling of fish. Hadris suggests that it has something to do with the elixir Ranchifus made all of his allies drink to secure their loyalty. After much deliberating and some growing impatience from Elwinda, who is sick of sitting around doing nothing, the group decides to start exploring the caves beneath the keep. Using augury and fine trap spells, Nom slowly descends, having the zombies lead the way holding rocks with continual light cast upon them. The winding corridor leads down, 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 into a massive natural cavern, and a wide cave passage leading off in one direction. Nom is cautious, going slow and using his spells to attempt to locate traps as they go. No traps or dangers are detected, though the halfling does notice a group of giant rats keeping away from them, just at the edge of their light. There's an entire ecosystem down here, and they assume other creatures must therefore live down here as well, and return to the safety of the keep, planning a slow exploration forward a little each day to make sure it's safe. On a subsequent day of exploration, the team happens upon a group of sleeping goblins. Rather than attacking and killing them outright, Elwinda parleys with them after they wake up, and the team learns that they are the remainder of a tribe that was killed by humans who invaded their lair on the surface. Nom thinks about it, and briefly wonders if these are poor survivors of the tribe he and his team massacred in the New Mire. And after careful consideration, study of their tribal markings, looking at their sad, haggard faces, Nom decides that he just doesn't care. Asking the goblins if they know more about these tunnels, a high reaction roll sees the goblins telling the group about a tribe of orcs called the Bloodskulls, who are being led by dark-skinned elves with snow-white hair. Drow. They also speak of giant moving cubes that they avoid. When asked about how extensive these tunnels are, the goblins indicate that they reach across the whole range of the human lands above. They even know about some secret ways in and out, like one that goes near the ranger's farm, but they avoid that one because he will kill them. The group offers the goblins shelter, and Nom sees an opportunity to deal with the ranger Quipper by using these tunnels to go directly to his farm. Hagen is indifferent to this plan, but Nom being the prime source of food means anyone who wants to eat must go with him. Calculating that Nom's magic creates enough food for each person for 2 days, they spend a few days creating extra food, though the group is starting to get sick of tapioca mush. During the next few days, Yonaris and Hagen spend extra time ice fishing, as having food other than magically created goop is a desired change of pace. The group heads forth, leaving Hagen behind to watch the pack animals and acquired loot. After 3 days of travel, the group is set upon by a gelatinous cube, which snatches a hapless goblin. The team rushes away rather than fight it, leaving the goblin to die. After 4 days maneuvering through the underground caverns, and noting other side passages, they come upon a small series of tiny crawl spaces that the goblins claim will take the group up to the surface near the hated ranger's farm. The session ends here as the team prepares to crawl through the tight tunnels and make their way to the surface with murderous intent. Well, minions, not exactly a nail-biter, but forward motion has been made narratively. There was some heavy role-playing this time around, between new players being introduced, dead characters being questioned, and some unlikely allies in the form of goblins. Through speaking with Ranchifus's spirit, they now have a tip about his purpose and a greater threat lurking in the shadows. They are also now aware of the extensive caverns beneath Heronshire, which gives them some mobility during these winter months. Technically speaking, the secret exits and entrances to these passages that the goblins mentioned aren't by the book, but rather a DM ruling. The DM here has decided that it's conceivable there would be multiple access points and has determined where they would be. The moment the ranger's farm was mentioned, Rick perked up and decided it was time to deal with him. This is motivated entirely by his knowledge that the ranger possesses powerful magic, something they sussed out a prior encounter with him, and something that Rick, Nom, covets. The looming attack on Quipper is a fun one, minions. Oh yes, you are in for a treat. I won't give too much away, but here's a primer. Nom's team consists of himself, Elwinda, newcomers Yanaros and Thalon, and the unexpected return of Hagen. Hagen's player Sean was originally not going to be able to make the next session, so he was left behind, as you saw today. But in real life, things changed as they do, and he was able to join after all, so his contrived character return will be explained next time. Added to that, the team has Kurt the Archer, who is a second-level fighter, Hadris, a second-level thief, 4 goblins, 5 zombies, and 2 level 0 archers. The goblins reported to Nom that the ranger has men working on his farm, but no more than a couple are seen at any given time. Not trusting in goblin math, Rick/Nom assumed half a dozen for the sake of planning. The ranger himself is a 6th-level ranger with high attributes and several magic items. The DM has had to adjust the stats slightly as this module was published using 2nd edition rules, so the ranger's base THAC0 actually loses a point from 15 to 16, but he still has bonuses for strength, dexterity, and magic. Otherwise, not much else changes. This ranger alone has many tricks up his sleeve and is a formidable foe. But is it enough to take on such a massive and deadly attack force? You shall see, minions. Oh, you shall see. I may not like the goody-good types, but it would be foolish to underestimate them, especially the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 1st Edition Ranger. That character class is a beast, minions. Beware the Rangers. Stay tuned for the next chapter, as Nomgare and Team Evil launch their assault against the Ranger Quipper and his farmhands. Until then, ta!